Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, today we're going to do a brief video showing conversions in the customary capacity. You're going to be comparing two amounts. You're going to be comparing two amounts, less than, greater than, or equal to. So we're going to use less than, greater than, or equal to compare these two amounts. Luckily for you, you have that big G that you had from yesterday, that you were given yesterday, which will greatly help you as we go through this. I'm not going to write it down. That's just too much. If you want it, if you want to see it and write it down on your own if you're watching, here it is. The G is a gallon. The Q, so there's 4 quarts in a gallon. Each Q has 2 P's for pints. So there's 2 pints in a gallon. And each pint has 2 C's, so there's two cups in a pint. So it really goes 4, 2, 2. All right, so let's look at our first inequality. We have 28 cups, and we're trying to find out less than, greater than, or equal to 14 pints. 28 cups, less than, greater than, or equal to 14 pints. You want to write these down so that you have these notes and how we're doing it. Well, Morgan, let me ask you something. Can you compare cups and pints? Okay, how would you do that? Taking your notes out.
You can divide.
Okay, so Morgan is going to change one of these so that they're both either cups or they're both either pints. So Morgan, do you want to change the cups to pints or the pints to cups? Cups to pints. So which one is smaller, cups or pints?
Cups.
Cups are smaller. So here's a little something that you can remember. We're going from cups, which are smaller, to pints, which are bigger. If you're going from a smaller size to a bigger size, it's a division problem. This is like a division sign. Similar, not exactly. So we're going from cups, which are smaller, then pints. So that tells us we're going to have to divide. So we want to figure out 28 cups equals how many pints. Now we just look at how many cups are in one pint. And since we know we're going from smaller to bigger, we know we're going to divide. So, Morgan, how many cups are in one pint? 2. Which would mean 28 divided by 2 equals 14. So 28 cups equals 14 pints. We have just proven our answer, because if you go cups to pints, you divide. But what if, so we know these are equal, but what if Morgan had decided to change the pints to cups? Well, pints are bigger than cups, so if we're going from pints to cups, that means we multiply. So a bigger unit to a smaller unit means multiply. Man, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
That should remind us all the time. What? And it works also in metric unit. Yes, ma'am?
Also, 14 plus 14 is 28.
14 plus 14 is 28. But let's change. We want to know 14 pints equals how many cups? And we're going from pints to cups, which means we multiply. So how many cups in 1 pint? How many cups in 1 pint is there, Morgan? 2. So I would just do 14 times 2 equals 28. And that proves our answer is equivalent. Now you can decide whichever one you want to do. If you want to change the bigger unit to the smaller unit, you multiply. The smaller unit to the bigger unit, you divide.
My mind is blown.
My mind is blown too. I didn't know this until a lot of years ago. I did not know it until a lot of years ago.
My brain isn't used to it.
So let's take 25 pints less than, greater than, or equal to 13 quarts. 25 pints greater than, less than, or equal to 13 quarts. And let's have Natalie. Natalie, which one of these units is bigger, pints or quarts? Quarts. Which ones of these do you want to change? Do you want to change 25 pints to how many quarts? Or 13 quarts to how many pints?
Pints to quarts.
Okay? So we want to figure out how much 25 pints equals in quarts. Okay, you said pints are smaller, right? So we're going smaller to bigger. Smaller to bigger. How many pints in 1 quart? 2. So 25 divided by 2 is going to give us what, Natalie? Good, 12 and a half. So 25 pints, not pints, that's crazy. 25 pints equals 12 and a half quarts. 25 pints equals 12 and a half quarts. So is 25 pints greater than, less than, or equal to, Natalie, 13 quarts? Less than. We could have multiplied 13 quarts times 2 and got 26 pints here, and it would have worked either way. Man, this is cool. You know what I hope, Natalie, is when I give you some of these to practice, a person doesn't say, "This doesn't make any sense." Not that I'm talking about anybody in particular. I'm not talking about anybody in particular. All right, let's look at the other next one. 20 quarts. Comparing to 80 cups. 20 quarts comparing to 80 cups. Give it a try. Figure out which one you want to change. Figure out whether you're going to multiply or divide. You want to change 20 quarts to cups, or do you want to change 80 cups to quarts? Chloe, which would you like to change? You want to change 20 quarts to pint or to cups, or 80 cups to quarts?
20 quarts to cups.
Okay, so we're going to change 20 quarts. We want to figure out equals how many cups. Okay, so are we going to multiply or divide on this? Okay, because quarts, are quarts bigger than cups. So we're going from a big to a smaller, which means we're going to multiply. Okay? So now we need to know, Chloe, how many cups are in 1 quart? And you can look at your large G, 4. Good. So we're going to multiply by 4. And 20 times 4 is? 80. Which tells me that these are equivalent. Now, why do we have these different measurements? I mean, why don't we just use cups for everything? Who has an idea of why we have to have quarts if we can have cups? Joshua?
Because quarts are bigger and you don't have to count it more.
All right. If I was making a recipe for punch and it needed 80 cups, what a beating that would be. 1 cup, 2 cups, 3 cups, 4 cups, 5 cups. Going 80 times? I could do 20 quarts easier, or I could change those 20 quarts to gallons too to make it even easier. I'm just saying. It would be 5 gallons, as my young friend who knows how to do everything just told me. Right? Right. Remember, a bigger size to a smaller size is multiply. Smaller size to a bigger size is divide. Bigger size. So like we did here, if I went, so we're going 20 quarts. Quarts are bigger than cups. Quarts are bigger than cups. If we went the other way, we did cups, changing to quarts, then it's divided. So just remember, if what you're changing is smaller, to change it to something bigger, it's divide. If you're changing something bigger to something smaller, it is multiply. Any questions? Boom, shakalaka, peace out, God bless, love ya. Do something kind today. Sonic sponsor me. If you're watching this, follow me. Why? Because I'm cool.